And welcome back to my channel, guys. This is Pebbles. Thank you for always coming back to watch me. Now today's discussion is about what has been happening in Kenya, and I was politely reminded by someone in my comment section on my last video that, how could who dare me to be reacting on D and I am Marwa and Rocio when there is so much going on in Kenya. And I was about to clap back at this person. In fact, I did clap back at this person, and then it hit me, and I quickly deleted my clapback, because as the queen of clapback, that would have been very rude of me. And this person was absolutely right. Some of you may say, how dare him attack me like that when the Marwas are not saying anything. And you are right, they're not saying anything, and they're uploading every day their videos so they can make money. They really don't seem to care about what is happening. But that doesn't give me the right to ignore the issue at hand either. So I immediately went on my community tab and I made a post because my heart is with the people of Kenya and what's going on there. And to be fair with you, I don't know in full detail of what is happening, because I can only go off what I see on our news, like CNN or any of the Western world news channel. Even if I go on YouTube and Google something about the issue in Kenya, it's not much there that I can understand in detail, or of what is going on. My understanding of what has been happening is the current government is under pressure to repay the IMF for some loans, okay? And as such, they decided to implement this finance bill, which is deemed unconstitutional to the people of Kenya, especially the poor people of Kenya. So they wanted to tax like bread, fertilizer, fuel, cars, and that type of thing. And it is deemed unconstitutional to the people of Kenya, because as we know, there's poverty in Kenya, and some of these people can't afford additional taxes on top of what they are already paying. Someone mentioned that land rates for tax, that I don't know how it works in Kenya. If you once you buy your land, if you don't pay taxes on it. I know that in the Caribbean and the US we pay taxes, especially in America. It's a lot of taxes, and depending on how much your property is worth, you can pay up to $20,000-$30,000 per year. And it's the same thing in most parts of the Caribbean, that you don't outright own. Once you buy your land, it's not like, okay, I buy my land cash, or even if it's with a mortgage, you buy your land and it's yours. No, it is not yours. Even after you're done paying off your mortgage, or even if you pay for it in cash, it's not yours. You continue to pay taxes, and if at some point you can't pay your taxes, they can take your land away from you. So it's like that in a lot of countries. So I don't think it was like this in Kenya. I don't know. So guys who are there, let me know if this is how it works. Like, you bought your land and that's it. You don't pay taxes on your land after you make your purchase. And now they want to implement taxes like other countries. So I don't know. And so this is how this all started, and the Generation Z, the younger generation, decided that no, we are not accepting this. We have to stop this bill, and that's how they started demonstrating to see if they can stop the bill. And to be honest, what they did, I can applaud them for it, and it worked. Watch my video to the end and you will see that it worked. So that is my basic understanding of how this all started. But after that person made that comment, I went into deep research. Yes, I did. I went and I informed myself, I should say. read up on it, what is going on, look at some comments that people made under videos in YouTube chat, just to get a better understanding of what is truly going on. And it seemed like it is really, really bad, really bad in Kenya. And I honestly, I don't know what to say. I noticed that someone that I follow religiously has not updated or posted a video in a few days, so I am assuming that, you know, this is affecting them, like the internet service and things of that nature. Of course, people have been demonstrating for a while, but it is getting worse because it's more and more people gathering now in different areas. Even in Yabahanse village, there are people in Yabahanse village doing demonstration, you know, not just in the city, because at first the demonstration started out in Nairobi, and it appears that people are now demonstrating in their own villages as well. So it seemed like it's pandemonium happening in Kenya, all over Kenya. So according to our news here in America, I think this is from Yahoo News, it says that on Tuesday, tensions flared in the afternoon and police officers were firing live rounds on crowd. They were not using tear gas anymore. They were also firing live rounds. Imagine someone firing live rounds into a huge crowd. That means that they were literally unaliving people. Okay, and Parliament, of course, these people a lot of the people who were demonstrating, they ransacked Parliament. They broke into Parliament and they ransacked Parliament, okay? A lot of people were injured. They are giving account as of Tuesday, 5 people dead and 30 injured, with I'm thinking that it's a lot more than that, and this was Tuesday. So hours later, the defense minister announced that the government has deployed the army to support the police in tackling the security emergency in the country. In a late night press briefing, the president warned that the government would take a tough line against violence, likening some of the demonstrations as criminals. So the president is now calling these demonstrations, these youths, these people who are fighting for their rights, he is labeling them as criminals. And once you start to label someone as criminals, then you have no regard for their life. You are basically giving those, you know, the army guys or whatever, the police, just do whatever it takes to get them off the street because they are criminals. Imagine, this is what he was basically saying. It is not in order or even conceivable that criminals pretending to be, these are the president's words, and I think his name is President Ruto, and he says, it is not in order or even conceivable that criminals pretending to be peaceful protesters can rain terror against the people, their elected representatives, and the institutions established under our Constitution, and expect to go scotch-free. So what is he basically saying there? These are criminals. I am deploying the army and do whatever is necessary to get them off the street. Okay? That is what I gathered from that. And as of Wednesday, Kenya was in a state of shock Wednesday following unprecedented scenes that left parts of Parliament ablaze and gutted as protests over proposed tax hikes turned deadly, prompting President Ruto's government to deploy the military. Death mayhem read the front page headline on the Standard newspaper, while the Daily Nation described the situation as pandemonium, saying the foundations of the country have been shaken to the core. The mainly youth-led rallies began mostly peaceful last week, with thousands of demonstrators marching in the capital of Nairobi and across the country against tax increases. So this is the news that we receive in America. I just repeated during my research what I found on Yahoo News. And since most of, my viewers are from places like the Caribbean, I just wanted to come on here to explain what has been happening in Kenya. And, my subscriber or the person who came over to my channel and said what they said, it's absolutely right. You can't just sit back and do reactions and not talk about these things to your audience, because the world needs to know what is going on in Kenya. And do I think that this will spread to other countries in Africa? Absolutely. I do believe so. And here are a few of the comments, that people, well, just recently I heard that there are a lot more people that got unalived, and it was about 20 something people that is now considered unalived. And some people are saying it is a lot more than that, because at one point they disconnected the internet. The government disconnected the internet, allegedly. I don't know how true this story is, so if someone from there can let me know if there is any truth to this, that they disconnected the internet and the power, and they attacked a village or something like that. So I don't know. I don't like to get into politics to begin with, and it's one of the reasons why I perhaps didn't mention anything about this issue previously. I really do not discuss politics and religion, but this is necessary because I have a lot of people who watch my channel from Kenya or Africa. And as someone from the Caribbean, we consider ourselves Africans as well, because that's where we came from, our forefathers or whatever. But yeah, I felt that that subscriber or that person who commented was absolutely right. It is my business to say something and make sure that there people in the Caribbean or people who watches my channel is aware of what is happening in Kenya at this time. There is someone who commented under one of the Yahoo posts about this issue, that the president targeted the poor with the hustler narrative, made a lot of promises, delivered none, and has made the lives of Kenyans hell. Kenyans are really, really tired of him. So apparently it seemed that this guy was just elected probably 2 years ago, I'm not sure. So he's fairly new, and he is already, and I think like most politicians, before they get elected, they are like saints. They butter you up. And it's not just Kenya, guys. I want you to know that in the Caribbean we have the same thing. They are the sweetest. They will do nice things until you vote them in. And after you vote them in, that's when you see the true colors of these people. The true colors of these people. And sometimes, you get frustrated because you vote someone out because you think they're bad, and you're going to vote the other party in, but the other party is even worse than the ones that we vote out. It always happens in every country, okay? Even in America, it's the same thing. We're struggling with these same issues at this time. What I want to congratulate is that the Generation Z, they call them the younger generation, they were not afraid. They went out there and, some of the videos that I've seen on YouTube, I can tell these guys had no fear in their heart. They went out there, and if it meant that they were going to give their life for this bill not to pass, they would, and they did. A lot of them did. Like I said, a lot of them did not make it back home to their families, and that is unfortunate. My heart goes out to their families and their friends. That is very, very sad. I've heard that the last administration borrowed $54 billion in 10 years, And the new administration borrowed 52 billion in 17 months. So I don't know how truthful this information is, because you know the internet. That's where I got this information from, because I'm not in Kenya. Okay, guys? Yeah. And someone said, to be clear, Kenyans are not protesting because we don't want to pay taxes or because we want to rely on debt. We are protesting because the majority of the taxes we already paid are wasted by politicians in government through lavish expenditures, trips, allowances, etc. A lot of it is also stolen through corruption, which the president is so reluctant to address. So yeah, that's one of the things that I think people are upset about. It's not so much that he is raising, all these things, like implementing all these tax. It's because they know that there's a lot of corruption. Like, how can you increase these things on the poor people and then you have a private jet taking you? And we have the same thing in our country, where there's so much poverty in certain areas, and so many people needs help. Or in Jamaica as well, we have the same thing. But yet you have the people in parliament, or the people in leadership, the prime minister as we call them, they're flying out in private jets with their entire entourage, going to these useless meetings and spending thousands and thousands of dollars that they could pump into the country to help the poor or the people who are really suffering. So I think this is the issue that a lot of Kenyans have. It's all about the corruption. Now, recently, just a few minutes ago, I heard that the president says that the finance bill will be withdrawn. He had a press conference, and this is what he said. It will be withdrawn after the deadly protest. He said that he conceded in his statement, and he will not sign the 2024 finance bill. But to me, I think that it is a little too late for him, because the people of Kenya are rejecting him. Now they no longer care about this finance bill. They want him out. They want him to step down, especially since blood is really on his hands after all those people were unalived at the protest in the streets. And they are really pushing for his resignation, the resignations of him and his MPs and VPs. They're pushing for them to resign. They even want his dog, the cousin of Bosi Mboka, to resign as well. They're pushing for all of them to resign, and there will be another protest tomorrow, I heard. So this is not over, even though he came out and made that statement that he will not sign the bill. People are tired of him, and this was too much for the people of Kenya, and they want him out completely. So thank you guys for watching. I just want all of you to know that my heart and soul is with you, and thanks to that person who commented and reminded me that I have a platform that I can voice my opinion on things like these, instead of just talking about Iron Marwa, Dean Wango, and Rocio. But I will have another video coming up soon on them. Okay, so look out for that. Thank you, and have a good night, and stay safe, please. Please stay safe, because at this point these people are not joking. You heard that the army will be deployed, and as such, you don't know what they are capable of. So please stay safe, my friends and my people. Whatever you do, please stay safe. Your life is extremely important. Thank you, and have a good night. Bye.